for unity in the spirit of truth and reconciliation. I'll hand the chair off to Councillor Tuckey.
Thank you, Mayor Ferguson. Good evening, council members. First thing on the agenda, can I get a motion to accept the agenda as adopted as presented, please? Councillor Cougar.
I move the agenda be adopted as presented.
Seconder.
Sure.
Mayor Ferguson. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor? So carried. Delegations. We have our monthly releasing report from the RCMP. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, everyone. I don't want to go over what I put in the report. I will mention that we did have a new recruit who arrived last week. She started work in our office already and is getting settled in the community. We do have one member who's been called back to Tuktoyaktuk for court, which means that they're going to be away from the community for the better part of the week. We did have 3 instances this last month. I put it in the report where we ended up having to remain at the hospital for an extended period of time with some mental health complaints, which is less than last month. And I also did want to highlight that there was a reduced call volume in the month of May versus the same time period last year. I did complete the report on the 29th, and the weekend was busy, so I anticipate if I added those calls back in from Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, it would probably have evened out a little bit closer. Unless anyone has any questions from the report I wrote.
Mayor Ferguson.
Sure, thank you. All right, yeah, thank you. I did notice that the numbers were down, and they've been down last month and I think the month prior. Is it because of more police presence, better policing? Like, what are causing these numbers to go down? Because they're kind of all the way down.
They are. I've only been here a few weeks, and so it's hard for me to give you a firm guess, but I'd suggest potentially that there's been reduced numbers of members in town for a while, and so the number of proactive files we're generating on our own is probably reduced simply because we don't have the numbers to be out as much as I would like.
Got it.
Mayor Ferguson.
Thanks. We spoke to it off camera, and I just wanted to say it again, is I know you guys did have a busy weekend with all the things that were happening here, and I just wanted to highlight something that you said, is that the grads didn't cause any of the problems, so yay graduates of 2026.
Yeah, happy to say that that's the case.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on, can I get a motion to, for the minutes of the regular meeting of May 29th, 2026 be adopted as presented?
I'll move the minutes of the regular meeting for May 19th, 2026 be adopted as presented.
Seconder, Councillor Carrick. Discussions? Any business? Councillor Cougar.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I could leave the items till business rising, but we've got a couple things in between. Just 2 items. One, they both deal with the minutes of the May 19th meeting under administration pertaining to the director's reports. The first one was with community services. There was talk about the internet testing program that our economic development officers are taking, which is, I think, extremely useful and quite good. Now, remember years ago we were sort of bragging we were one of the first communities in the NWT to have fiber optics into our community, but it basically stopped at the Northwest Tel building, and then it was just over to cable network. In the intervening years, there's been other communities, and Hay River is a prime example, that basically now has fiber optics to every residential resident in the community. And I'm just suggesting that we might want to ask Northwest Tel when they plan to provide that level of service to the residents of Fort Smith, given that in the last year or so they've received millions of dollars from the federal government to upgrade communication and internet services. So I think we should be on a priority list as we are one of the larger communities. A lot of our residents are reliant on internet services for various things, and our college as well. So I think it's pertinent that we ask Northwest Tel to give us a timeline for them to upgrade our local internet distribution services to fiber optic grade. Second item was under the municipal services. Councillor Heaton brought up the issue of secondary fills at Bell Rock for water services. It's not only Bell Rock, it would also affect Bordertown, Fort Fitzgerald, and the Salt River community and places outside of our community. Now, we're constantly going on about our community needing to look at being prepared, especially in the more rural areas, being prepared and undertaking proper fire smart programs to protect our properties and things like this. And one of them has been, being a resident of Bell Rock myself, and I know several others, have invested thousands of dollars to buy sprinkler systems to protect our residents and things like that. This idea that we're only going to get our tanks, one tank filled, is sort of saying, okay, yeah, nice that you invested that, but it's all worth naught, because you turn on your sprinklers and basically your primary tank's going to be drained probably within the hour. Whereas if you have a secondary tank, at least you have, I know my secondary tank's twice the size, doubles my capacity and things like that. So that is one of the primary concerns is the decision not to fill secondary tanks is putting us at a higher level of risk should a wildfire or any fire get loose on one's property to be able to respond to it. The second thing, and it's more related to a lifestyle choice that is really encouraged by the town, the GNWT, and other organizations, deals with food security and people wanting to grow, basically have their own gardens. How are you supposed to water a garden when you have a limited access to water? It's not that the residents, any of these residents are asking for free water. We pay just as every other user by metered volume. We just, people are asking for access to water. To be able to, if they have a secondary tank, maybe it's only once a week it gets filled or something like that. I know in the response it says that the service is available from a private contractor. I checked into it. It's $195 was a quote for 500-gallon delivery. That's half a water tank of water for that. It's not practical for a private contractor to have a truck sitting there, people sitting there waiting for the phone to ring saying, hey, bring me another 500 gallons. That's why the rate is so extraordinary in this case. So I would really like to suggest that administration look at other options to allow these residents, and there's quite a few of them, access to a basic service, be it that they enter into some type of contractual agreement with a local service provider so that the town can use a volume of customers to be able to get a much better price per delivery. So I would really like to see administration bring forward some creative options of how to give the residents outside of the municipal pipe water system access to a critical and necessary service.
Thank you. Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, moving on. And a motion for the minutes of the special meeting of council on May 21st, 2026 be adopted as presented. Councilor Carson.
Point of order, did we vote on that previous motion?
It was, we're trying to pass the minutes of the meeting of,
Yeah, actually we did, and then we had a discussion.
May 19th.
We voted on it?
no, we didn't vote on
I
it.
believe we called the question, yeah. We still need to call the question.
Okay, sorry. All in favor? That was good.
Yeah,
Do you want to next?
that was my point of order.
Can I get a motion for the special meeting of council on May 21st, 2026 to be adopted as presented? Councilor Carson.
Now I'll do it. I move that the minutes of the special meeting of council of May 21, 2026 be adopted as presented.
Seconder,
I'll second.
Councilor Eaton. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? So carried. Okay, declaration of financial interest. Seeing none. Board of Administration, and we get the director's report from Collective Services, Director McNabb.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Tucky. So I will just give a couple of highlights and then open it for questions. It was just a slightly below average month for call volume with a total of 26 calls, 2 fire and 24 ambulance. We did do a significant amount of training though, so 10 training events over the course of 1 month. During that time, we did complete the Wildland Urban Interface member course, which we've been looking forward to. So that gives us 14 members on the department that are trained and meet the standards for the Wildland Urban Interface mutual aid program, so we can deploy outside of the community as well as protect the community itself. We have hired and now have started the new deputy, so Spencer Porter started on May 25th, and it's great timing. There's lots on the go, and he's been doing a great job, so I really do appreciate the support of council in getting that role. The Type 2 structure protection trailer that was ordered through the Wildfire Resiliency Fund from the GNWT just arrived, and we have gone through it, we've inventoried it, and are really happy with it. The quality of the trailer and the equipment in it is excellent, so we're very impressed and happy to have it. We may have it out doing some work sooner than we think, and whether it's deployed out on an incident or not, we'll have it here again to protect our community. We're further just to that point, building out the trailer that we already had as a full Alberta Type 3 trailer, so it will also be a deployable resource, and that gives us some flexibility. If we just need to go help a small community, we can take that Type 3 and be deployed out and use it and keep the bigger one here to protect the community. Versus if this community is not at risk and we need to take something bigger, we can still leave something in the community that can provide some structured protection. So we will be building that one out. It's not missing a whole lot. It almost meets the standard as is. The dispatch service work is ongoing and we're getting really close to rolling out our dispatch. We're already migrating a lot of the work that we're doing from our existing software into the new First Do software, which will support that transition. So a lot of work going on in the background, but it's getting really close. Land busy with development permitting at this time of year as usual, as well as just helping to wrap up the tax prep and bringing the second roll into the system and cross-referencing and verifying it. So that was a lot of his month. Bylaw enforcement's been extremely busy, especially with animal control, and they're even month over month for the last 3 months are more calls coming in for reactive enforcement work. So it certainly has been drawing down its resources. People are really engaging with bylaw and wanting to see bylaws action and enforced, which is a shift in the community, and I think that the online portal has really helped with that, or whether it's helped or not, but it's given people more access and a voice to get a hold of bylaw, and I think it's also the good work of Dane getting out and doing stuff. People are seeing that bringing forward a bylaw concern is actually resulting in an outcome, so it's a double-edged sword there. He's doing a good job, so he has to do more of his job. Good. Emergency management, so just continuing to put out PSAs. I am engaging with the incident management team for the Wood Buffalo fire this week, just to have some proactive conversations around any possible impacts to the highway, smoke, any projections for community impact, but at this time there are none. Definitely, though, working through that. If anything changes, I'll be standing up the local emergency management organization just for general information piece and to bring all of our partners together. And occupational health and safety was nothing of real significant note for this one. And then there's a couple of updates to the capital projects that are ongoing. That's it.
So like with the animal shelter, we're hoping to do some more fundraising events, but also we had discussed potentially like fundraising events where it would help offset the registration cost of animals within the town. Like, has that ever happened before where it's like we raise a lump sum of dollars and it's for the day, whoever needs to register their animal for that day just come in and then the shelter kind of just pays for it all? Has that ever happened before?
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Heaton. I am not aware of that happening. Certainly a not-for-profit society that wishes to fundraise and use that money to support something is wonderful. I do wonder if that money wouldn't be better spent on the spay neuter program, but again, that's at the will and discretion of.
That'll definitely be discussed for sure.
Yeah. The registration fee structure has changed in the new rates and fees bylaw, and it's actually a reduced burden. It'll be once every 5 years, and the cost is not high. But if that is a barrier to people registering and the society wishes to support it, that's wonderful. That wouldn't so much be between the society and the town as the society and the owner, I would imagine.
Follow up. With the animal control calls that, the bylaw is picking up, like how many of those animals are registered? Is it a high percentage or most of them are not?
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Heaton. I would say that this town has at best a 5% registration rate.
Okay.
It depends, a lot of the dogs are repeat offenders, so the only way that it was let out the first time was by getting it registered, so there was a forced registration the first time that they were at large, and then after that, yes, they may be registered. Almost none of those folks actually put the tag on, so then they get an untagged fine,
Okay.
and even when we physically put the tag on, folks are removing the tag, which is unfortunate because if the bylaw officer finds an animal that is registered and tagged, that circumvents the whole process of taking them to the shelter because you could then just take them home. So I'm very pro registration, and it's really to protect the animal and the owner and to help bylaw just get these pets back home.
Fuzzy Joe, thank you.
Councillor Brennan.
I just wanted to make a comment about, the spading and neutering. Dixie Penner used to have a program for fundraising money, and it was really good, because, it prevented a lot of puppies being born.
Yes, if I can respond to that. So the shelter still is running that program where they do offer spay and neuters, like for families who just don't have the funds or whatever the reason is. So we are still running that service. But just need more.
Mayor Ferguson.
Thank you. For the deployable pieces that we have for our WUI, like when we go into help another community, is that recovered? Like the cost, is that like a invoiced piece of equipment? Are we like, it's like we're making money on that, and especially because of the wear and tear? Like, how does that work?
Director McNabb.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Ferguson. I actually should bring forward, just for council information, or I could just send it as an email, the Wildland Urban Interface program that's been built for the territory, and it does outline the billable rates for pieces of equipment as well as staff or volunteers, and it is at cost plus. It's not going to be a massive revenue generator, certainly, but it will more than cover our costs and has the potential to generate some revenue.
Mayor Ferguson.
Just to follow up what Councillor Heaton was saying, I know I spoke with the past president of the Animal Society, and she mentioned about a partnership with the town, perhaps, or not really a partnership with the town. We're asking the town to reach out. There's these free spay and clinic, or free spay and neuter places that travel, and so they've given some information about that. And I'm wondering if they still have that information about those clinics that travel. Maybe if they send it our way, because if it's something that they needed an invite from the town that they were looking for, because that might help with the spay neuter financial situation, getting animals taken care of. I don't know if you guys can find that for me, maybe resend that this way?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Anything further? Thank you, Director McNabb. I get a motion for DPA 1426.
Sure, I'll start. Okay. I move that DPA 01426 submitted by Saeed Alwick, Levantine Kitchen, to conduct culinary services from Lot 15, Plan 212, 5 Tarbigan Street, Portsmouth be approved.
Sure.
Seconder,
I'll second.
discussion? Councillor Hoover.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There are several development permits in this package. that I do have several issues with. And the first one, I guess, is, and I've talked about this before, is the information that is being provided in the briefing. For example, in this one, a home occupation business license application has been received that indicates operations include culinary services, period. Looking through the application, it's difficult to determine with any clarity whether this particular application has people going to the residence for food services. Are the food services like a cater type services? It really doesn't provide what is this business actually doing out of the residence. And for us to give conditional improvement for somebody to do culinary services, to me is it's not doing our due diligence in making sure we fulfill our mandates. Like it says down in considerations, operating a business of this nature in a residential zone has the potential to create nuisance traffic and noise contravening bylaw 1063 part 8 .6.11 sort of thing. But we don't know what this business is offering for services to be able to make a determination of, is this going to be creating nuisance traffic? Is it going to create foot traffic, vehicular traffic, things like that? And I think to be able to make a proper and due diligent decision, not only on behalf of the applicant, but all the other residential units that are within immediate vicinity of this new business operation. So I would really like to see our business, or these briefing notes, have more details, sort of saying, yes, this business will create foot traffic. No, it will not have foot traffic. Something definitive that when somebody asks us, how did you make a decision whether this culinary service was going to affect neighbors? Right now, I don't have the ability to say there is no foot traffic coming to this residence, or there will be minor foot traffic between certain hours, things like that. So I really think we should be punting this down to one of the advisory committees to come up with some options of how these applications can, for a clear assessment of what the impacts of approving these business licenses really are. The second issue with several of these is we're getting to a point where I don't see us ever looking, or with the volume of home occupations that's coming through, where we're providing the community with options to develop commercial space where a lot of these businesses should be operating out of. We keep saying our community's stagnant while we're letting everybody operate out of their houses for culinary services, all these other types of services. Shouldn't we be looking at trying to encourage these businesses to move into commercial space where people can easily access those services and provide a vibrant economic activity within our community? I think we can. I know I've spoke about it during the capital budgeting processes. We really need to address how the economics of this day and age are changing community economic development. The impacts of the gig economy, home occupations. How do we encourage businesses to look at, does the town have a role in creating an incubator system for businesses to be able to go into a small space and actually start the business and see, is it a viable commercial activity rather than doing it from a bedroom in their house? It's just, I brought this up many, many times, and here we are. We have a whole bunch of home business applications, and a few of them I'm having a hard time deciding whether I would support, because I do not have adequate information. Thank you.
Mayor Ferguson.
Thank you. I agree with you, Councillor Cravette. I'm like, what? No, I do agree with much of what you said, especially when it comes to these types of home-based businesses. A lot of what we're seeing, especially with this type of business, there's a couple of them in our packages tonight, is I think 8 or 9 other commercial businesses that have brick and mortar businesses in our community that pay higher taxes, that are higher employees who have to pay for different types of insurances and have to be licensed in a different type of way, go through WSCC, all of the standards that are required on a specifically food service business, especially if you're inviting your customer to your location or whatever it looks like. I think allowing these types of businesses without a better definition, like you said, through an advisory board to give clear parameters of what that looks like, would do those businesses disservice, especially, if we're trying to make a better economy here in Fort Smith and grow what we have.
Councillor Brennan.
Yeah, I noticed that too, that like there's people asking for licenses to sell food from their places and that. And there was one applicant from months back. She said that they were stalled because they needed 2 people like yourself and somebody else to go in and check out the place. Is that like that with every applicant that comes through here?
Director McNabb.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Benwell. So yes, we are not picking and choosing how we apply the bylaw. It is for every business. To Mayor Ferguson's point, there are fire code requirements for having a commercial kitchen, whether it's in your home or it's in the hotel or it's in any zone in our community. One of these, I believe, is a duplex. So the last thing you want is a grease fire on one side burning down someone else's house because we've just said, yeah, you can be a kitchen and you can cook at a commercial scale. So as the authority having jurisdiction under our bylaws to ensure that we're meeting fire code requirements, and as a requirement in our business license that we ensure that all legislation is followed, we are requiring those home inspections where I am verifying fire code is met. There has been some pushback in the past, but it is actually just for the very basic safety of both the resident and the adjacent property owners.
Any further discussion?
I'll say something.
Councillor Hayes.
Sure, so I hear what you're saying, Councillor Cravette, but the reality of the environment, I guess right now, it is a gig economy. Everyone has a day job, and then these are types of home businesses that help people be able to retire or, have savings, all of these things. And I think if they could afford brick and mortar, which most places do start small, they eventually will build up to that. But if they're, passing the code or that Protective Services is bringing it to the table for it to be approved, like, I don't think that's a bad thing that so many people in our community are having to do these entrepreneurial interests, like outside of their day job, right? And it also does help with taxes, right? You being able to write off some of the things because you are doing your admin work at home, or you're doing beading here, whatever it is. Like, to me, I don't think it's a bad thing for our community to have so many home businesses. I think it's a positive thing, and especially for like us younger generations. Like if we have goals of retirement or home ownership or children, even with the cost of whatever it is happening right now, like we need supplemental businesses that have to operate from our home because we simply cannot afford to rent a place. Hardly any small spaces to be rented. So we're trying to do what we can to be creative, to still help our community be successful, be entrepreneurial, and I think, you know, like it's a positive thing. I hear what you're saying about like more information, obviously, right? That's always nice, but if it meets the standards of protective services, it's good for our young people or old people or whoever, community members. It's a good thing because it's required. Almost everyone has a second job nowadays. Like, that's the reality. Let's see, Joe.
Chair for a second.
Oh, sure, Yeah.
I'm handing the
Okay.
chair to Mayor Ferguson.
okay.
Yeah, I've given this some thought too. Well, unfortunately, I mean, I was out in Edmonton and Calgary for a while back. I just got back here. Walked into a few stores down there, and there's actually a lot of stores shutting down. Big size stores, jean stores and stuff. Amazon, Prime, making it hard for big businesses. As with any business, you're gonna have increased traffic and foot traffic, whether it's a big business or a small business, so there's gonna be increased traffic and foot in a small business. But what does a small business do in Fort Smith? Well, especially these kind, the catering kind, they support the big businesses here in Smith. They buy the groceries there. So I think it's kind of a win-win because, well, if you even look at Hay River, you walk around the shops down there, half of them are closed down. The online's starting to look the same. And it's just, the economy is different. And I think sometimes it's more important to help the little person than it is the big person. Because the little person does do a little bit more than what most people think. And I mean, it wasn't so long ago that we had a letter from Northern saying that they're concerned about what they can do here in Fort Smith because of all the increases in freight prices and stuff. And so when big businesses are affected, we might just need a few more small businesses. So that's all I have to say.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Councilor Bates.
Yeah, I'll jump in on this one too. So I grew up working in a restaurant that started, the chef that I worked with, he started in one of the small businesses. And so right from a young, when he was starting out, he started with like just the ice cream bicycle, right? And then started doing cooking from his house and that sort of thing. And now has like essentially a chain of restaurants. And so I think there is, it's not always going to be that pathway, but I think one of the things I was hearing is, we would like to see more restaurants. We would like to see more bigger business and just seeing how we could support that. And one of the things that I've been wondering about, and maybe this is, part of the conversation is, like the commercial kitchen at the rec center, or not the rec center, the arena sits, empty and unused for much of the year. Is this a possibility if we want to get more sit-down places that could be an income source for the town, or invite some of these people to have a storefront, which gets them to go from just being in their in their houses for most of the year. Could they, for a week or a month or something, have a place where the town can support them as, I think somebody mentioned, as an incubator. Maybe, hey, this is what it's like to have like a full restaurant with sit-down people, and maybe that gets them a step forward to being like, this is something that we could do in our town. There are other commercial kitchens in town, maybe they could also support that idea, whether it's at the rec center or, you know, the arena or other places. Not sure if that's a possibility, but it could be something that we could do to support these folks who we want the entrepreneurial spirit here to be supported, right? So if we can do something to maybe get them one step farther, get more people out supporting our town, I think that'd be a good thing. Thank you.
Is your hand up? Is your hand up?
Nope.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor? So carried.
I was against, so you didn't say.
Okay, any against? One against. Can I get a motion for DPA 02026?
I'll move it. So I move that DPA 02026 submitted by Allison Courtney, Northern Lights Catering Company, to expand to cooking from home in addition to on-site catering options or operations from Lot 2, Plan 285, 5 Peregrine Street, Fort Smith, be approved.
Seconder? Counselor Eaton. Discussion? Counselor Cougar.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Was one that sort of blew by me during the last discussion, I guess, just for clarification of the final, the rollout process of the application. If, I believe the next step would be for a notice to be published or put it at the places where the development permit is being applied for, and that all adjacent residents and other occupants are notified that they have 14 days to appeal the process.
You want to clarify that, Counselor, or Director McNabb?
Sure. Yeah, thank you, Councillor Kubrat. You're correct, that is a part of the process. Just to clarify the process a bit more, so when we receive these applications that are subject to the approval of council, we only ask for basic information. I mean, we can certainly look to amend that to gather more information, as has been highlighted, but we do not do the inspection at that time. We notify them that if they're putting forward a business that includes food preparation at their home, that is required, and then we don't put in the time and effort to actually go and do it and have them comply until we know that Mayor and Council have supported it. That'd be challenging to do given it's conditional and we can't approve it. And then you're correct, once Mayor and Council have approved it, we will begin that process with the homeowner or the occupant of the home at the same time as we would concurrently put a posting at the property and send a letter to all of the adjacent property owners notifying them that they can appeal within 14 days. And just for clarity on that, because it has been misunderstood in the past, I believe, but it's not an appeal to council, rather it's an appeal to the Development Appeal Board, as it is a development under the zoning bylaw. Thank you.
Thank you, Director McNabb. Counselor Carson.
I just wanted to make the point to Councillor Couvet's comments during the first motion. I found the documentation with this application to be what we would expect from future applications. It talks about numbers, it talks about times, it talks about staggering pickups. So I found the documentation with this one to be, almost a model that, could be referred to the advisory committee to updating the form, especially for home cooking services. It could be, something like that. Certainly they checked all the boxes when they submitted this application. So I just wanted to make that comment.
Thank you. Mayor Ferguson.
Thank you. You just made me remember something about the application. I've had to help someone come in with their home application a home business application, and them having to go for a development permit, it kind of confuses them in their mind. The process, because they'll go through, you'll see all their pages is all blank except for like the very last page where they have to sign. Making a better application page or application form for home-based businesses would be better than having, I know they're asking for a, it has to go through here so that we can give a conditional, or let them do it conditionally, but not making it's kind of confusing for some folks when they come in thinking, well, I'm not getting a development permit, I'm not building anything, I'm just, doing what I'm doing, I'm sitting at my desk doing paperwork. So a more simplified, easier form for home-based businesses, so that it doesn't feel like, because that's often a question that comes up is, why am I filling out a development permit when I'm not building anything?
Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carried. And I get a motion for DBA 021-26 Lakeshore Lashes.
I'll move that DPA 02126 submitted by Allison Courtney, Lakeshore Lashes, to conduct cosmetology services from Lot 2, Plan 285, 5 Fairbrand Street, Portsmouth, be approved.
The seconder? Mayor Ferguson? Discussion? Seeing none? All in favor? So carried. I'm gonna get a motion for DPA -022-26.
I'll move that DPA 02226 submitted by Howin Photography be conducted or to conduct photography services from lot 841, plan 7819 Pond Crescent, Fort Smith be approved.
Thank you. Got a seconder? Councillor Karasuk. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? So carried. And a motion for DBA 027-26. Mayor Ferguson?
I move that DPA -027-26 submitted by Hunter Lance Welding Limited be to conduct a mobile welding service from lot 295, plan 207, 17 Pine Crescent, Fort Smith be approved.
Can you get a seconder?
I'll second.
Councillor Bathe. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? So carried. I get a motion for DBA -2826.
I'll motion that DPA 02826 submitted by Harvey Lepine, Borderline Contracting Limited, to conduct landscaping and firewood services from lot 526, plan 272, 305 McDougal Road, Fort Smith be approved.
Seconder? Councillor Egan? Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion carried. Can I get a motion for DPA 02926? Councillor Karasuk.
I move that DPA 02926 submitted by Chad Taylor, True Grit Contracting, to conduct contracting services from lot 355, plan 207, 21 Poppy Crescent, Fort Smith be approved.
Thank you. Seconder? Mayor Ferguson, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? So carried. Okay. Moving on to corporate services, we did the director's report.
Chairman, that would fall under my domain at this point as the acting corporate services director in the absence of a corporate services director. It's a fairly brief report, staffing update. Clearly, we are in the process of searching for a new corporate services director. We are also in the search for a human resources manager and recruiting the executive assistant position. So those are in play or in process. And the briefest summary was on the property tax process, which we had a special meeting for to approve the mill rates at the last special meeting approximately a week ago. Report's very brief. If there are any questions on it, I'd be happy to answer. Sweet.
That's an easy one. Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to accounts paid list.
So, Mr. Chairman, you have, council has received a updated report, I understand. Are there any questions on that report? And between the chairman and the mayor, you might have to guide me on our normal process in dealing with that.
You want to respond to that, Mayor Ferguson?
It's usually it's just for your information unless there's a question. Sorry, I didn't know you were asking me to tell you what's going on.
It was
I thought.
It was an
No,
open statement.
I
so
put it
anyway,
on you.
Okay, and so yeah, so normally we'll go through this list. Everything is, everything that gets paid out of here goes through multiple checks before it goes here anyway. But if there was anything that anyone had questions on, if you can't answer it off the top of the head, then we'll say, hey, get that information back to you.
Understood.
And any questions on the accounts? Seeing none, moving on. And then get a briefing note donation request for the Frank Rubin Pride Festival. Can I get a motion for that? That requires a motion, correct?
Briefing notes.
It's a request. Donation request.
Oh, yeah, sure. So, I move that council approve support for the 2026 Frank Rubin Pride Festival, including permission for the Rainbow Crosswalk painting, subject to coordination with administration, the donation of $1,500 to Fort Smith Pride towards the rental of the Centennial Arena, a financial contribution of $250, the closure of King Street from Community Recreation Center parking lot to McDougall Road to King Street to Brennan Street to McDougall Road to Rupert Ave, and Rupert Ave from Brennan Street to Fort Smith Centennial Arena parking lot, to be closed on June 13th, 2026, from 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. for the Frank Rubin Pride Festival Parade. The temporary road closure of McDougall Crosswalk between St. Joseph's Cathedral and the undeveloped lot to be closed on June 5th, 2026, or if the weather is inclement, June 7th, 2026 from 8 to 12 p.m., 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. for the painting of the crosswalk.
Thank you, Mayor Ferguson. Second. Councillor Couverin. Discussions? Councillor Carrister.
I'd like to suggest an amendment on the second bullet to have it say an in-kind donation.
Donation of, okay.
Because usually what we do is give them the arena and then we take funds out of the donation pot and send it over to that department. So we're not giving them the $1,500 for them to turn around and then pay for the arena. It's an in-kind accounting donation.
Is that how that you're accounting for that $1,500, or is that we're giving them $1,500?
No, the $1,500 would be towards the rental of the Centennial Arena. The
So-
financial contribution being a financial contribution on the third point.
So in kind would be correct?
That is correct.
I'm okay with that. Councillor Covet, you're okay with that amendment on bullet 2?
Still open for discussion, any further discussion? Councillor Heaton.
With the painting of the crosswalk, like was it, I can't remember if it was done on a Sunday last year too, just because of the church crowd, you know? Like they're gonna be coming and going and that's already kind of could be potentially a difficult conversation. So I think maybe, I can't remember if it was on a Sunday last year or not, if they painted it on a Sunday.
I think they had to change it. I don't think the original day, because it had rained, I think they had to do it a different time.
Just something to consider. Yeah. And that's just based purely on some recent social media comments that were shared publicly, but I don't want there to be any potential issues, you know, and maybe a respectful distance might be appropriate. Just something for them to think about.
Okay, Mayor Ferguson.
We could change then, instead of the crosswalk between St. Joseph's Cathedral to the undeveloped lot, why not then from the Fort Smith, or from our fire department to the drugstore crossing McDougal? Because we have painted the other one many times. Why, is there, could we do a different one if there is a proximity perception that it might not go well on that side of the road?
I can move you very close. Councillor Carsley.
So we'll cater to the bigots. No, seriously,
That's exactly, you took the words out of my mouth.
Yes, go for it, Al.
you know, if that's the sidewalk and we've done it for many years, suck it up. Now I can see if it was interfering with traffic, going to church on that Sunday morning, valid point.
Yeah.
But just because it's next to that lot, I'm not in favor of changing it.
Well said.
Wholeheartedly agree.
There's multiple exits from the church anyways. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? So passed. Moving on, can I get a motion for 26-134? Accelerator Fund? Mayor Ferguson?
Sure. I move that council direct administration to discontinue the use of the Housing Accelerator funding to develop that council direct administration to discontinue the use of the Housing Accelerator funding for development permit fee waivers that are not directly related to the creation of new housing units.
Get a seconder?
I'll second.
Councillor Couverette. Discussion?
Mr. Chairman, would you like me to brief you on it?
Sure.
So it's fairly self-explanatory, but right now we are foregoing or forgiving the development charge costs. The Housing Accelerator Fund is specifically targeted to accelerate the number of housing units that we're building in the community. So it came to our attention the other day that we are doing it in some cases on developments that don't necessarily lead to new housing units. So to keep it within the intent of the fund, the suggestion is that non-housing residential units not be included. And we are able to identify that there was approximately $60,000 worth that fell into that category. So going forward, it makes sense to change the criteria slightly.
So is that sort of like a home improvement you was going to?
Our half funding, so we were waiving all business development fees. Half was paying for everyone's. what this is telling us now is that we're only gonna do the one that it supports, new developments for housing.
Councilor Reed.
Just maybe to give a little bit of context, having been there from like the beginning of the application, the intent was like right from the beginning to just waive all the fees, right? So it's not that it's not the intent of the program. I do agree with the decision to stop waiving fees and that it should be more focused on getting housing. But when we started went through the application process, it was known as far as the, I believe we were all aware when we were involved in the process that the idea was that it would just remove the burden of doing any permit applications. And so the idea was that that was a benefit to administration, and so that's why that decision was made at the time. But I agree with the change.
Councilor Carson.
I still oppose to the language being used, the use of the word waived or forgiven, because the development fee is still being paid. It's being paid by the Half Fund, so the town isn't losing money in that sense. And I thought when we originally had discussed we were going to review it after 1 year. When was the decision made or the first motion passed to do it? My memory is aged, so does anyone here recall? Are we close to that 1 year anniversary? Then it'd be a lot more palatable to say, we're gonna change it.
Sorry, I meant to look that up and I don't remember.
I think I do recall what you're saying.
Because to me, changing horses midstream means that we don't really have consistency as a council. If we said we're gonna do this and we're going to review it in a year, then that's what we should do. But if we say, okay, it's been 3 months, now we're gonna change our mind, and for people for the first 3 or 4 months got their fees covered by the fund, and those who follow don't, to me that sends an awkward message. So I would say maybe table this until we can get information on when that original motion was passed and what the anniversary date of review would be for. If that makes sense.
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead.
if I could add, there is a slight risk here with the criteria of the fund, that if it's ruled ineligible after the fact, then we would pick up the cost. So I'm cautious about that approach of not changing it as soon as possible.
Councilor Cougar.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I know this has come up a couple of times, and I myself brought up the question of whether funding non-housing related development fees would fit under the criteria of the federal funding that we're receiving for this. And at the time, we were assured that
Yes.
all development fees could be waived, and that the program would cover the revenues, or would offset the revenues for the town for those fees. If that has changed, I think we need to know immediately, or have clarification from the funding agency whether they are going to claw back, like if all of a sudden we're going to have to find from within our own fund $60,000 to offset ineligible fees. We have to respond to that immediately. So if we can get clarification and confirmation by email that our current process is still to waive all development fees is appropriate or not under the funding program.
Mr. Chairman, I can add some information to both parts of the discussion. The dates, we passed the motion on September 23rd, 2025, but it was retroactive to January 1st of 2025. So it was effective for all development fees charged during the 2025 year. So we are now into the second year, although it was passed in September. But to the secondary question of what would be eligible or not, the criteria is very specific to developing residential housing units. But to the point about how it might be applied, it has been very generous in the application from the Canadian the managing body. So they have been very generous. From a management perspective, I'm just very cautious that it does not specifically hit the criteria. So I would be cautious about a review down the road, that's all. Yeah. So does that answer both questions? So,
Councillor Hayden?
Yes, yeah. Have we communicated this to anyone in the community that, like, the waiving of the fees is gonna be finished, or this is just gonna be potentially decided today and like, good luck tomorrow?
it has not been communicated to anybody because the decision hasn't been made by council.
Okay. I mean, there's a lot of contractors that just apply for business permits.
Councillor Coover?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. On a point of order, I believe there was a suggestion of a motion to table this. Exactly, yes, ask Councillor Pershuk if that was the intent. To
Well, it was
forward
the-
motion to
If
table.
it was to get further information, but the SAO gave me the dates that I was looking for.
Any further discussion?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Is that a motion?
We're in a motion, correct?
Okay,
But I think Councillor Heaton.
oh, Councillor Eaton?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind actually tabling this just for a little bit more time to, because I'm even going back through my notes and stuff like that, but I do want to confirm, Councillor Couvrel, we were assured 100% that any type of developing permit would be covered by the HAP funding, so that alone is a little bit, concerning, so. And then also to like cut off the waiving of these fees like tonight and then tomorrow, like good luck, I don't think that's fair. So I wouldn't mind that we tabled this motion and make a decision at the next one, because then even if those dates are correct, that's a year and a half. Get it? So I would be okay with the tabling of this motion.
So somebody have any motion to table?
Patty made a motion to table.
I'll second it.
Okay, did Ravina get that?
I did, Heaton and Parashuk.
Okay. Discussion on the motion?
I think,
No, there's no
we don't need
discussion.
anything, it's just tabled now till the
Okay.
next time.
Okay, moving on. Bylaws and policies. Do we have anything for bylaws and policies?
Do we have to
Mr.
vote on
Chairman?
that to have it tabled?
No.
I think we're-
We do have to vote on it.
That's what I thought.
I'm gonna say, call the question on the motion to table.
The date.
Big word?
We just need to act on the motion to
Okay.
table.
So all in favor of the motion to table briefing note before this? So carried.
I'm gonna abstain.
Oh, abstain. Okay, moving on to bylaws and policies. Anything in bylaws and policies? Nothing? Okay, mayor and council round roundtable. Councillor Couverture.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Really don't have anything to add, other than I know we said it during our last get-go was congratulations to all the grads. And there are some upcoming events. People to support the Frank Rubin parade and festival. And as well, coming up towards the middle of June is National Indigenous Peoples Day. I know the organizations are planning activities for the entire weekend, so I encourage people to get out and show their support of our community and our community governments.
Thank you. Councillor Randall.
I just want to congratulate all the grads on their graduation, and say thank you for having a safe celebration for their grads. Because there was no reports, so that was good.
Councillor Eaton.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, just wrapped up my morning shifts at the animal shelter. Lots of cute dogs. If you're looking for a new fur baby, poor Sadie's been there for 200 days, so she's looking for someone to love on her. She'll be the best car companion, absolutely. So look forward to our next fundraising activity with the Fort Smith Animal Shelter. Uncle Dave's lunch program wrapping out. Super excited. And the thrift store, just a message from the ladies that work there, please, if you're giving us donations, make sure that they are clean, because it really helps us move the process if we're not rooting around looking for whatever. So clean, folded, no pet hair, really appreciated. The TDN election is upcoming, June 9th, so members of the Tavati Denisuple Name Band, I believe they're doing online election and also in person as well too. So make sure you get out and practice your civic duty. And then this morning I did a Safe Talks, Suicide Prevention and Safe Community Training with the social services at the health center, and then also Uncle Dave's Friendship Center. So once again, to our young people within the community, yes, graduation is an amazing thing. If you didn't hit that step, you're not alone, and if you need someone to talk to about it, there's no shame in coming out and just speaking and sharing your load, right? Your life has meaning, we value you, and there's 8 more people who are certified and assessed to listen to you and help find you safe support. So, bless each other.
Thank you. Councillor Carrick.
Yeah, I'll start off with school-related topics. So thank you to all those from both schools, JBT and PWK, who were involved with putting on the grads. I believe I congratulated the grads at the last meeting. But JBT also held a fantastic science morning. I was driving down the street and saw the tents, and I stopped in. Science Rendezvous, and it was amazing. It was really cool, and there was a lot of community organizations and businesses out there helping provide a lot of information to the kids, and it looked like a really great fun morning. I'm assuming that TLC sponsored the banners up around town again, so I want to thank them, because I think that's a great tradition that they started, so great. Track and field athletes are heading off to Hay River to participate in track, so I want to wish them all the best of luck. And I think Mayor and Council were forwarded that letter from Janie Hobart about MACA's decision for funding and how it impacts the Laurie Hobart volleyball tournament, plus other tournaments in the north. And there was an interesting Facebook post from the Minister in charge of MACA, who is Vince McKay, Minister and MLA from Hay River South, and he said, well, it's arm's length, the government makes their decisions, or MACA makes their decisions on whether to give the funding to different organizations based on strictly projects that maximize youth participation, promote healthy lifestyles, and improve access to sports and recreation across the NWT. Now, for those of you who haven't been aware of the Laurie Hobart tournament, there's 350 to 400 athletes. It's crazy busy. I fail to understand how that missed the criteria. And I would appreciate it maybe if town says, you know, okay, what were all the projects that applied for funding through this fund, and how did they score on each of those criteria? Because that, again, is just, you know, we have I think other than track, it's one of the biggest tournaments going in the north, and it's just continual slaps in the face from Yellowknife, and I'm getting tired of that. So enough on that rant. And I did want to put a plug out there. It's almost coming up on our 2-year anniversary, and really we haven't done a whole heck of a lot in terms of policy review and updating. And it's a frustration. I would like to see a timeline prepared for our next meeting of which policies are going to be looked at and brought forward for the remainder of our term. It's frustrating, and I really want to light a fire under that. And that's my rant this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Babe.
Okay, thank you. Staying on the topic of education, I was a bit disappointed not to, I think we had a request to have the DA come as a delegation. And so it was disappointing not to see that here. It probably, you know, as far as like my engagement with the public, it is the thing that I hear most about is the education here. Next to maybe garbage cans, and I will say the garbage stuff has been almost 100% positive. And so especially for rollout, that's been nice to hear. But there are a lot of concerns I'm hearing from parents in our community, and I know it's kind of adjacent to our role on council, but we do have representatives here from the DA, as well as members that are voted through our process. So I would like to hear about that. In particular, I've heard that the current plan and the cutting of programs goes directly against advice of Dr. Suhail, as well as the principal of the school. So it'd be interesting to hear. I know the public wants to know why those decisions are being made, right? And there's a sense that maybe this is an avenue that they could hear that. So I'll just leave it at that. That request, I'd say, is ongoing to hear from the DA why these decisions are being made. Because I think they affect our community as a whole. I'll leave it at that. I want to congratulate kudos to everybody going off to track and field next week. My kids have been involved in that. And getting a ton of support from volunteers, teachers, at the school, and it's just really cool to see everybody coming together, and I'm looking forward to going to support Fort Smith in May River tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Ferguson.
Can I just, it's okay? Just to,
Well, we want the DEA to come and speak as a delegation, so they can answer the questions that we emailed. I know that we've emailed you as the chair of the DEA to come and speak.
well, no, I haven't gotten that email. I mean, I've seen the email, but I haven't gotten a request.
The request was sent.
The request was sent to the
And
DEA
received.
and received. For the DEA, the chair.
Yeah, it didn't come to my email.
It wouldn't have gone, it went to the DEA themselves. That's the contact that we had.
So let's set it up. We want to hear, we want
For
that,
sure.
right? And so maybe we'll just follow up with another email, see where that went. Okay.
Or send it to
And
my
maybe
voice.
send it to Connie herself, yeah. Awesome, thanks Connie. So yeah, I think most of us participated in that fire break management workshops that happened here. I didn't go to the public one, but I went to the leadership one afterwards. And I think that there was like so much good information and so much said there. I took their cards that they had, I don't know if the cards about what you could do with those places. And I really think that the fire break management, because I'm not sure what they're doing with the rest of the information, where they're gonna move with that information. But we should take what had started there, because it's our information, and take all of that and let that be one of the first things that one of our advisory boards could work on. Is it a big issue that I think needs a lot of community engagement, and that was a good start, but there should be some more. And so I think that, and as we heard tonight, our policies and home occupations and business licenses, all those things we need some input from the business communities and from our advisory boards on what those are gonna look like, what would be the best needs for the community, and how they should be addressed. So I think I know we're still looking for members. We only have members on the advisory board for STAB and one ETAB. So if folks want to make an impact, if you want to be involved in how council makes decisions and what ideas are brought forward, things like how are home occupations done? What kind of garbage stuff are we gonna do? What are we gonna do with fire break management? Advisory boards are a place where that kind of information is gonna be talked about, so get on there so that you can have your voice heard. That's all, and congratulations to the grads. I'm glad it went so well and everything went well and there was no incidents for fire, police, or nothing. So that's fantastic.
Well, I think everyone's covered everything. I'd just like to congratulate the grads. It was, they looked after themselves very well this year and very impressed, and it was a good sized group. And other than that, I'd just like to give my condolences to families who've lost loved ones in the last 2.5 weeks. There's been a few. And that's all I have. Moving on. Can I get a motion to excuse councillors from tonight's meeting?
Sure. I'll move that we excuse Deputy Mayor Keiser and Councillor Cox from the council meeting of June 2nd, 2026.
Seconded.
I'll second it.
Councillor Babe. All in favor? Carried. And I get a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Just a point of order. If we could perhaps discuss who will chair the June 16th.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I missed that. So any volunteers who wants to chair the meeting of June 16th?
I haven't done it in a while. I need to
Councillor
practice.
Eden? Want to do the July 7th, or is it too soon?
I can do the 7th,
Okay, Councillor.
but I want to ask about the garbage truck, so I didn't want to change.
Okay. Okay, now can we have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Councillor Karzak.
I move that we adjourn at 8:23.
I know, I was trying to second you like
Second.
Never.
Did you second it?
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor? So carried.
Yeah.